Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready?
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. It started off a nice day here in Maine, but now it's clouded over and it looks like it's going to rain soon, so but it hasn't been too terribly hot here. So anyway, there's a video I want you all to watch here before I go into the topic that I want to discuss here. It's from the Midas Touch, so let's go to the video, and I think you'll find it interesting.
Donald Trump's speech in Atlanta, Georgia on Saturday was a total disaster. There was an entire section that was fairly empty. Donald Trump blamed the school, which controls the auditorium, said it was their fault. More on that in a moment. Throughout the speech, Donald Trump continued to glitch and continued to glitch like this. Here's an example. Let's play it.
Should not stop. She said, she was endorsing to fund the place and the police. And she said, violent mobs, let the violent mobs keep going.
Then Donald Trump spent a lot of time during the speech attacking the school, blaming them for the fact that they wouldn't let 1,000 more people in. He's saying that's why there were empty seats in the stadium, unlike with Vice President Kamala Harris, where the entire stadium in Atlanta was full. Play the clip.
But the school administration stopped us from getting another 500, 600, even 1,000 people in. Thousands of people were told no, and that was okay, but we could have fit another 600 people. So I don't know anything about the school. I don't know anything about this school, but they could have allowed more people. You got people standing outside. Look at all the people outside. They could have come in. They could have come in. So we're not happy. Hello out there. And then they actually pushed the people very far away from the building where we have beautiful cameras set up for the overflow crowds, the administration of the school. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be sending anybody to this school. I'm not happy about it. If they're going to stand in the way of admitting people to our rally, just imagine what they're going to do on election day. We're not going to let that happen.
Donald Trump then talks about Hannibal Lecter, a fictional cannibal friend of his. And in this speech, Donald Trump calls Hannibal Lecter Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Play the clip.
Mass amnesty. Everybody come in. Even criminals. Because many of them that are coming in are from prisons and jails and mental institutions, insane asylums. They hate when I use Dr. Hannibal Lecter as the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Oh, they go, look at all the media back there. Look at all the fake news. That's a lot of fake news.
Donald Trump then, in a traitorous part of the speech, congratulates Vladimir Putin on the prison swap. He says, Vladimir Putin, great job. The leader of the GOP, folks. Play the clip.
It's terrible. You know, by the way, I'd like to congratulate Vladimir Putin for having made yet another great deal. Did you see the deal we made?
Donald Trump then spent a ton of time talking about President Biden, who he's not even running against anymore. And he kept on repeating that President Biden was choking like a dog, And Donald Trump repeated that over and over. I'll just play you a small portion of that. Play the clip.
Choke. He was choking like a dog. He was choking. He was choking like a dog.
Donald Trump then says that Vice President Kamala Harris is a, quote, low IQ individual. She has a low IQ. He then praises President Xi of China. Play the clip.
She's worse than Bernie. And she happens to be really a low IQ individual. She really does. She has a very low IQ. We don't need a low IQ. President Xi of China said, oh, good, we have another one, a low IQ individual. They love dealing with low IQ. They love dealing with low IQ people, and they got him here, I'll tell you. We got them all. She is terrible. She's worse than he. I think she's worse than him. By the way,
more glitching from Donald Trump. He can't say the word wrecking. Play the clip.
Thank you very much, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate it. Together we will stop Kamala Harris's nation-wrecking. I'll tell you what, when you see what she's done to our nation, she's wrecking our nation.
Then Donald Trump says that there are 19 different ways to say Kamala, and he calls her Crazy Kamala and then mispronounces her name on purpose. Let's play that clip.
And we're going to defeat Crazy Kamala. Kamala. You know, there's about 19 different ways of saying it. She only likes 3. Biden never even came close. Kamala, Kamala. No, it's Kamala.
Donald Trump then continues to be obsessed about the crowd size and then lies and said people left during Vice President Kamala Harris's speech, which is simply false. Play the clip.
She was here a week ago, lots of empty seats. But the crowd she got was because she had entertainers, and it all started to unfold when they started to leave about 10 minutes into the speech. It was very boring.
Donald Trump then makes up that if you vote for Vice President Kamala Harris, she will remove the words Merry Christmas. Play the clip.
Ready? The 2 words are Merry Christmas. She doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas.
Donald Trump continues to say odd and bizarre and frankly weird things about Vice President Kamala Harris. He then calls her Bernie Sanders, but not as smart. Play the clip.
She's worse than Biden. She's worse than Bernie Sanders. She's Bernie Sanders, but not as smart. That's the way I view her. I said she's a dumb version of Bernie Sanders and actually further left than him.
Then Donald Trump says that he now supports electric cars, despite saying previously that he hates electric vehicles because Elon Musk told him to say that. Flip.
And I'm for electric cars. I have to be, you know, because Elon endorsed me very strongly, Elon. So I have no choice. But he knows. No, I am for him. I'm for him for a small slice is a slice. But you want to have gas-propelled cars. You want to have hybrids. You want to have every kind of a car imaginable. They want to go all electric. And there's no way you can ever load them up. They call them loading them. You can't load them. We're going to have to spend $9 trillion in the Middle West. You saw they built chargers. Now a charger is a gas pump with electricity come through it. Is that good? So it's like for 8 chargers, they spent $9 billion.
Donald Trump then further fuels a conspiracy theory spread by right-wing media regarding an Algerian boxer. And Donald Trump says an Algerian boxer who's a woman. Donald Trump says that the Algerian boxer is a male boxer. Play the clip.
I used to use the barbells. I thought now all you have to do is look at the boxers. This young girl from Italy, a champion boxer, she got hit so hard she didn't know what the hell hit her. It's a person that transitioned. He was a good male boxer. Yeah. He was a good male boxer. And she didn't even go down. He hit her with 2 jabs and she said, I'm out. How crazy is it? The weightlifters are great though, because.
Then Donald Trump attacks Bruce Springsteen. Play the clip.
Well, Hillary used to do that too. I remember she got Bruce Springsteen. I'm not a huge fan. I have a bad trait. I only like people that like me. Does that make sense?
Then Donald Trump talks about not having a guitar. He says, I don't have guitars. Play the clip.
No, Hillary used to do it all the time. She got the idea from Hillary. Hillary got Bruce Springsteen, I'll never forget. And the place was pretty full. Not full like our places are full. And I don't have a guitar. But our places are bigger. We get more people than anybody. I don't care how many guitars they have.
Donald Trump then thinks it is a good idea to attack a very popular governor in Georgia who's a Republican. We may not like his policies, but he is popular in Georgia, Brian Kemp. And Donald Trump attacks the Republican governor, spends a lot of time doing that in his speech in Georgia. Play the clip.
You know, Fannie Willis is a good friend of your governor. You know that? Your governor. I'm not a fan of your governor. But
then Donald Trump attacks other Republicans, Mitt Romney, the former presidential candidate for the Republican Party, Paul Ryan, the former vice presidential candidate. And then Donald Trump attacks Fox. Play the clip.
Remember Romney? And they did polls. Romney and Paul Ryan, what a combination that was. Whoops, there we go off Fox. Fox just won. No, Paul Ryan's on the board of Fox. What a mistake that was.
Then Fox has to cut its coverage of this Trump rally. Play the clip.
Under these kinds of woke radical left policies, Atlanta is like a killing field, and your governor ought to get off his ass and do something about it.
So the Trump rally underway there in Atlanta, the former president turning to some of his familiar themes on the campaign trail.
Trump then tells a story about Ali Velshi, the reporter, and Trump mocks Ali Velshi for getting shot with a rubber bullet. Play the clip.
Minnesota, which was a disaster. Minneapolis, the crimes. You remember the CNN reporter? This is a friendly riot. Oh, please, I'd rather not use the word riot. This is a friendly get-together. And behind him, the whole city is burning down. Remember that? Remember, it was like the flames were going like for miles. And then he got hit on the knee with something. I think it was a hand grenade that didn't go off. Remember him with the shaved head? Ding, 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 shaved his head. How do I look? Great. Then he goes down, a hand grenade hits him.
Now, the speakers who spoke before Donald Trump also got the memo directly from Donald Trump to make this as racist and xenophobic and frankly weird as possible as well. You had a speaker, Michaela Montgomery. You may remember her. She's the woman who was with that photo op at the Chick-fil-A in Atlanta that all the media was like, oh, look, he's meeting a black woman in a Chick-fil-A. That must mean he has support in the black community. We exposed the Chick-fil-A stunt here on the Midas Touch Network and showed that Miguel Montgomery goes to event after event after event. She works for Charlie Kirk. She was an intern in the Republican Party. She's a MAGA operative. Here is Miguel Montgomery saying some very hateful things about Vice President Kamala Harris. Play this clip.
A few days ago, President Trump said he didn't know Vice President Harris was a black woman. I'm trying to figure out what all the outrage is about because she's only black when it's time to get elected. Did I lie? The same black people who are mad at Trump for being confused about her race, ethnicity, nationality, whatever, are seemingly forgetting that while you're touting her as a savior for black people, she identifies as an Asian woman. She chose her side and it wasn't ours.
Then you had MAGA Republican Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones in a racist moment in the speech, although the whole thing was pretty much racist and xenophobic, compares Vice President Kamala Harris to Milli Vanilli. Play this clip.
Do y'all remember Milli Vanilli? You know, it was two guys. They were, claimed to be R&B German artists, even though they had British accents and they were born in Madrid or something like that. But sound a little bit like Kamala. But
You then have MAGA Republican Congressmember Collins saying that Vice President Kamala Harris is like the Stacey Abrams of California, apparently just another black woman that he's trying to name as they lean in more on the racism theme here. Play this clip.
You know, Kamala Harris is like the Stacey Abrams of California. And here's what's so ironic. Stacey Abrams is the Kamala Harris of California also.
And then you have the network hosting this, RSBN. They kept on saying that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, and they repeated that over and over again. Play the clip.
To know how many votes Kamala Harris got, you can count it on one hand if that hand had no fingers. Because she never, she got no votes. Exactly. She got no votes. And then Joe, selected her for the VP. She was definitely a DEI hire. And then he drops out and goes, hey, there you go.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
We were talking before and giving so much credit.
So that's what went down at this unhinged and disastrous event in Atlanta, Georgia. Tell me what you think in the comments below. It is important that we call this out each and every time for what these are. Traveling fascist circus events that Donald Trump calls rallies. WWE cosplay fascism. Pure unadulterated hate. Pick the name that you think best fits it, but I think all of them are apt. Hit subscribe. Let's get to
Okay, so let's go to a commercial break, and we'll come back and I'll discuss it.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Ruth McLaughlin, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This
is me.
Me. This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
In this election, we each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? There are some people who think we should be a country of chaos, of fear, of hate. But us, we choose something different. We choose freedom. The freedom not just to get by, but get ahead. The freedom to be safe from gun violence. the freedom to make decisions about your own body. We choose a future where no child lives in poverty, where we can all afford health care, where no one is above the law. We believe in the promise of America, and we're ready to fight for it. Because when we fight, we win. So join us. Go to KamalaHarris.com and let's get to work.
I'ma keep on running cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
It's never the Republicans who ever bring up race.
Is she Indian or is she black? She was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
This woman, this disaster whose only qualification was having a vagina and the right skin color.
Either Kamala Harris, she's the original Haktua girl.
She's never earned or won anything.
Pimp's trying to find a woman that's weak. You know what I mean, man? Jive turkey? That's not how I remember Kamala Harris speaking. That sounded a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more jive to me.
Kamala Harris is a JV player. She is a DEI pick.
She was a DEI hire.
The DEI vice president.
She would be the queen of DEI if she were elected.
Affirmative action. You're selected because the melanin in the content of your skin.
Is it possible that she's getting whiter?
Whiter? Yeah. I think they've been
Have you seen her lately? Like, it is weird. It's like she's like a biracial werewolf. Just
I've noticed she started wearing.
She's a DEI hire, right? She's a woman. She's colored, therefore she's got to be good.
It's so racist.
People keep asking if we were better off than we were 4 years ago. Of course we are. A booming economy, more jobs, higher pay for the middle class, respected in the world again. Stability, sanity, kindness, respect. And most of all, decency in the Oval Office again. America is working and working together. The problems we still face at home and abroad aren't from this White House. They come from a desperate, unstable man and the followers who give him power. The same man who endangered America's health.
I think it's under control. I'll tell you what.
How? 1,000 Americans are dying a day.
They are dying. It is what it is.
Wrecked our economy and tried to overthrow our democracy. Were we better off 4 years ago? That's the wrong question. The question is, what do we want the next 4 years to be?
What is a failed coup? Is it a loss? A defeat? A victory for the good guys? What happens to those who perpetrated the coup? Are there consequences? Or do they remain in power? And if they do, when are we safe? What will stop them next time?
Donald Trump's campaign is obsessed with the past. He's willing to sacrifice our democracy, put himself in power. Not America, not you.
A failed coup with no consequences is just a training exercise for the next attack.
I am your voice. I am your warrior. I am your justice. I am your retribution.
And make no mistake, they're going to try again. Unless you stop them.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
So, as you could see, that rally there in Georgia was a shit show. Okay, and you if you decide to go back and rewatch it, I want you to pay attention to the fact that he didn't say anything in his rally that was going to be useful to a voter making up his mind or her mind about whether or not they should vote for him. Okay? It was completely lacking in that. Instead, he doubles down on the same old act every rally he's at. Okay? Talks about Hannibal Lecter, talks about sharks, talks about this. You know, it's always the same thing. And like I said, that's his script. And, you know, I know that MAGA would prefer that he would try and talk more hopefully about what, you know, what his administration would bring to the table that we don't have. Okay? But he is lacking in imagination and intelligence to be able to dictate to an audience what he would like to do. Even if he's going to lie about it, he can't do it. So instead, he throws mud, he insults people. He even insulted the damn people that had him have his rally there. I mean, Jesus Christ, if you talk about, it's like being invited to a birthday party, and then you insult the person that you're there having the party for. I mean, okay, this guy has no fucking gratitude for even being at that school and using their gymnasium for this rally. He bitches, oh, there's a whole bunch of seats that are empty up there and they wouldn't let anybody, you know, that's their damn business. If they didn't want people there, you know, you should have asked them before you got up on the stage and made an ass of yourself in front of people. But that's him, you see. He's got to be always right. And you can't contradict him. You got to listen to him all the fucking time. You know, and the thing is that I don't know about a lot of you people, but, you know, it's got to be tiresome. It's got to be tiresome at this point now. I mean, the fact that he does a rally and then the media breaks it down. He does another one and the media breaks it down. And every time they break it down, it's over the same fucking points. He brings nothing. Okay? And believe me, there are people out there who are Democrats. They go to these rallies just to, you know, to find anything that's going to come out of his mouth that's going to be used against him. Okay? And my thought is, hell, the whole rally is really something you could use against him, because from start to finish, it's nothing but trash all the way through it. I mean, there's not like, you know, oh, this little spot here or that little spot there, like in rallies past. Okay, it's the whole damn thing, you know. And, you know, those people that were behind him in that rally there in Georgia, did you notice they all had the same sign that says, "You're fired"? Now, what do you think? Did they all think the same thing before they went there, or did they just pass these things out as they were coming in? Here, you're going to be sitting behind Trump, so here's a sign. Everybody takes a sign that's going to sit behind Trump. Okay, that was all orchestrated. It was all planned, okay? That was all meant to be the way it looked. Okay, that was all for the camera's sake. All right? And the fact that he's still attacking Harris on her race and on her name and all this other crap goes to show you he doesn't really know her. He says, oh, I knew of her, I knew something of her. He didn't know her. He doesn't know her at all. Okay? And she wouldn't hang around with that asshole anyway if she, you know, ever saw him. Okay? She's a prosecutor. She probably knew he was dirt from the day, you know, she ever laid eyes on him. Okay? She's not going to associate herself with a fuck like that. Okay? So, let me tell you something. Trump, he's desperate, okay? He's sweating bullets right now, okay? There is a group of people that have detached from MAGA. They call themselves Republicans for Kamala Harris. That's out there, all right? And they are people who have had it up to here with this MAGA cult craze that swept their party and basically destroyed it. Okay, and they want to bring it back. They want their party back, and they know that the only way they can do that is they're going to have to go into what they think is the lion's den and snatch their party back from there. They have to go through in order to get out. And going the path that Donald Trump wants to take them is only going to take them further away from their basic beliefs and their basic principles. okay? Because he's leaving that in the dust as he goes. He doesn't care about Republican ideas. He doesn't care about the Christian mindset or whatever the hell you want to call it, okay? I mean, he's going around talking about, oh, I'm selling this Bible here, you know, and he's got things in it, all right? And then he turns around and he says, oh, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm Christian lean. He doesn't believe in any of that stuff, okay? The way he talks, you know, grabbing women by the, you know what, shooting people on Fifth Avenue. I mean, does that sound like a Christian to you? Okay, he ain't a Christian. Forget about that. The fact is he's saying whatever he thinks he needs to say in order to get people to side with him. Fact is, people are siding with him not because of the things that he says. They're siding with him because he has an R next to his name. That's why they're siding with him. They don't care what he does. As long as he maintains that he's with the Republican Party, that's all they care about. They need him in the White House so that way they got an anchor, basically, to a seat of power. So that way they have an anchor in the Supreme Court, they want an anchor in the White House, and they want an anchor in the Senate and the Congress. That way they have the whole trifecta, or whatever you want to call it, of power at their fingertips, and they can manipulate the country that way. That's what they're doing. They don't care about the characters or the personalities of these folks that are anchored here in these positions. That doesn't matter to them because they think they can dictate to them what to do. Can you imagine somebody trying to tell Trump, you're going to do this, you're going to do that? That arrogant piece of shit's going to take orders from some nut from the Christian cold. Good luck with that, okay? When you give that man power, you're all going to suffer. Everybody's going to suffer, just like last time. So let me read this article here to you from the AZ Mirror. This is Arizona Mirror, I guess is what that means. Written by Ariana Figueroa. Okay, I'm sorry. It's Figueroa. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce it. Entitled, Republicans for Harris Rallies Members of GOP to Campaign for Democrat Ticket. Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign over the weekend launched a, quote, Republican for Harris's initiative as her campaign looks to court moderate GOP voters and others who don't support former President Trump's re-election bid for the White House. The Harris team said the effort will be a, quote, campaign within a campaign, unquote, in which prominent Republicans will aim to attract moderates, independents, and Republicans who voted for former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley when she challenged Trump for the nomination. While Haley once stated she would never vote for Trump, she has since said she would. The GOP drive will kick off on Monday with events in battleground states such as Arizona, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Monday, so that was today, actually. National Director of Republican Outreach Austin Weatherford said in a statement that Trump's backing of the far-right Playbook Project 2025 is, quote, toxic to the millions of Republicans who no longer believe the party of Donald Trump represents their values, unquote. Weatherford, former chief of staff for the former GOP U.S. Representative Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, who was a vocal critic of Trump, said the Harris campaign will work to earn the support of Republicans, quote, who care about defending democracy and restoring decency, all of which would be torn away in a second if Trump becomes president, unquote. Excuse me. As Harris starts her surprise sprint to the November elections as the likely Democratic presidential nominee following President Joe Biden's suspending his campaign in late July, her campaign has quickly built coalitions ranging from, quote, white dudes for Harris, unquote, to, quote, young Republicans for Harris, unquote, which is being led by Reed Howard. She's also been quick to rack up endorsements from unions such as the Hospitalities Union, Unite Here, and the National Association of Social Workers. The, quote, Republicans for Harris, unquote, program will have a digital campaign that features testimonials from Republicans who are supporting Harris, and they will make their case to Republicans about voting for her. Quote, I was a proud Republican, but Donald Trump is unfit to lead our nation, unquote, former New Jersey Republican Governor Christine Todd Whitman, said in a statement, quote, "Republicans for Harris will be an important way for us to bring that message to the voters who will decide this election," unquote. In North Carolina, former state Supreme Court Justice Bob Orr will lead the organizing efforts of, quote, "Republicans for Harris," unquote, in the state. Quote, "As we approach the final days of this election, there has never been a more important time for Republicans, former Republicans, and unaffiliated voters who lean Republican to come together and put country over party by working to elect Kamala Harris and stopping Donald Trump," unquote, Orr said in a statement. Some of those GOP endorsements include former members of Congress such as Kinzinger, Rod Chandler of Washington, Tom Coleman of Missouri, Dave Emery of Maine, Wayne Gilchrist, who was a GOP member from until 2009 of Maryland, Jim Greenwood of Pennsylvania, John LeBotillier of New York, Susan Molinari of New York, Jack Quinn of New York, Denver Riggleman of Virginia, Claudine Schneider of Rhode Island, Christopher Shays of Connecticut, Peter Smith of Vermont, Alan Steelman of Texas, David Trott of Michigan, and Joe Walsh of Illinois. The program also includes former Trump officials, such as former White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham and Olivia Troy, a former National Security Advisor to then Vice President Mike Pence. Quote, "I might not agree with Vice President Kamala Harris on everything, but I know that she will fight for our freedom, protect our democracy, and represent America with honor and dignity on the world stage," unquote, Grisham said in a statement. Quote, "I encourage other Trump administration officials who saw the tyrant we worked for in the office to speak out and stand with Kamala Harris this November to keep integrity in the White House and ensure democracy for our country," unquote, she continued. Several former governors are also part of the coalition, such as Jim Edgar of Illinois, Bill Weld of Massachusetts, and former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan of Georgia. Over the weekend, during a campaign rally, Trump attacked popular Georgia Republicans such as Governor Brian Kemp and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Both men are Republicans who resisted Trump's pressure campaign to overturn the 2020 election results, but they have not given their support to Harris. Okay, so you see, there is the unity in the MAGA movement. Okay, is only in the MAGA movement. It doesn't mean that all the Republicans are standing behind Donald Trump. It only means MAGA is standing behind Trump. And MAGA, believe it or not, is just a small fraction of the overall Republican voting base, or voting grid there that we have in this country, okay? It's just a small part of it, okay? And a lot of these people on the fringes outside of this extremist area are sick and tired of Trump, and they just say, look, you know, we thought we could get our way, you know, with what's her face there, and then it just didn't work. Now we're gonna have to jump on board with Kamala in order to undo what Trump's trying to do here. You know, they're trying to protect their party, is what they're doing, to drag it out of this friggin' mud that it's stuck in. That you know, where they're spinning their tires and they're getting nowhere. I think that those 4 years that we had with Trump as president, you know, some people say, well, those years have been forgotten. Maybe for some, but it's still in people's mind, recent memories and stuff, for people who are, you know, my age, or even just, you know, a decade or two younger. They still remember how it was under him. And, you know, I can't say that, you know, the energy is there to see him go back like it was when he was running for the first time as president, okay? You know, it was a different time because he didn't have a political background really to bash like we do today. His political background now is just complete disaster. And yet he's their only game in town, you know, really. I mean, no matter who they put him up against in the Republican Party, he always comes out on top. It's because it's this cult mentality that keeps putting him out on top. Okay, that means they're not listening to the rest of their own party. They're not listening to the moderates. They're not listening, you know, to the, principled Republican voters out there. They're only concerned about themselves. The MAGA movement's only concerned about their agenda, which is a draconian agenda that doesn't take anything into account that the GOP was ever based on in the first place. Okay, none of that means anything to them. This is a fundamentalist group of people, okay, fundamentalist Christians who have created this political tumor inside the Republican Party, okay, and it's trying to metastasize into the whole goddamn country. And the thing of it is, you know, if we don't let the outlying parts of the GOP get their way, okay, it could spread even further whether Trump wins or not. You see what I'm saying? So it's really, Republicans are just as much responsible to make sure Trump doesn't win as it is the Democrats. All right? You know, in this case, any clear-thinking American here who gives a shit about democracy has to all be united here to keep him at bay and that fucking cult mentality at bay. Okay? They cannot ever be allowed into the halls of our government, ever. Okay, no matter what kind of coat they wear, or you know what kind of hat they put on, these people, you know, you can tell what they are by what they say, and you can't ever let that happen, to let any of these people inside our government, because they will, under the table, get what they want done. Just like how they snuck those 3 justices into the Supreme Court after they lied under oath that they weren't going to do anything with the abortion, and then they turned around and did. Okay, in a perfect country, those 3 justices would have been impeached for that. Okay, for lying under oath. They perjured themselves. That, you know, hey, if there's any reason to get rid of a judge, it's under that, right? They put their hand on the good book and then they turn around and lie. Hey, that person would have lost their robes, you know, that day. But the fact is, nothing happened because, hey, you got the MAGA movement running cover for them. All right, so like I said, this is how they'll do things. You got to watch out for these people, because when you have a party, a political party, I'm just talking about conservatism here, okay? When you got a party like that, that's a conservative party, and it's based on the need to hold us back out of certain fears that's going on in society, okay? Because they are unable to keep an open mind about things, or because they bring religious dogma to the table that tells them, you can't do this, you can't do that, it's wrong, this is a sin, this is, you know what I'm saying? And they try to make policy based on dogma, okay? We all know that fails. Every country practically in the world has tried that, and it fails. To this day, there are still fights over laws that, you know, are based in religious dogma, that they're still hammering out over each other's heads or with an axe, okay? It doesn't work. That's why church and state has to remain separate. But in the conservative movement, that doesn't. Okay, they bring that Bible right to the table, and that leaves a big fucking door you can drive an airplane through, okay, for cultism, you know? And that's how that starts right there. When you get enough of, because, hey, the conservatives have been always beating the drum for them in order to win seats for years now. Okay, so now these people are used to being part of the political structure, and now they want more. They want more control over our lives, because they got a taste. All right, they got a taste of it. So now they want more control, and so that's why they've been coalescing inside the Republican Party, because, hey, they bring money, they bring support, they bring voters to the table, and that's what these Republicans want, because their political policies don't sell to the voters because they're so unpopular. So let's cater to the religious faction. Hence, we make a cult, and now that road has bit them in the ass here. Okay, and now the Republicans want to try to fix that by getting the hell out of the damn mess that they created. But it's going to take the Democrats and the Republicans in order to fix this, to get that out. And we got a whole lot of damage to fix. And Kamala Harris is the one that's going to be able to get us going in the path of trying to undo what's been done. All right, I really think she can do that, provided the Republicans, or the MAGA movement, I should say, doesn't get in her way. The very fact that they would try only bolsters what I just said about the cult mentality. Okay, they will do whatever they can, even against the will of the majority of the country, because what they want matters more than what the rest of us want. Okay, and when you start thinking like that, you've gone off the deep end. You're crazy. You're insane. All right, and that's what's happened here. The MAGA movement has lost its ever-loving fucking mind. Okay, and they did a very poor job of trying to hide that from us. Okay, that Project 2025 manifesto that got pushed out there, that everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have read, had, you know, that Reddit got scared to shit. You know, it's like, well, I can't believe they're saying this. I can't believe they're going to do this. You know, it scared the hell out of people. That in itself would be enough to get Kamala Harris voted for president. She really doesn't have to say much, except maybe remind people of the kind of the accomplishments she and Biden made together. But as far as policy goes, hey, let the Republicans hang themselves on that. You know, if they want to tout the, you know, that Project 2025 book they're around, let them hang themselves with that. Let Trump come out there and read out of that to the crowd and see how many people there will still be there when he's done reading it. Because I can guarantee you, a lot of those people that were at that rally there in Georgia probably didn't even turn a page or two in that thing. They probably have no idea what's in that. And when somebody mentions that, it's like it goes in one ear and out the other. They have no idea what that is. All right? But let Trump go up there and read out of that fucking thing and see how many people are still there when he's done. Okay? Let that happen. All right, so that's it for right now, and I will talk to you again later. So please subscribe, comment, and share, and keep your ears open for health-related matters, and treat each other nice out there. Be kind, and try to understand that not everything is black and white. There's shades of gray out there. Keep an open mind. Don't be judgmental. Keep your opinions to yourself if it's not anything nice to say, and you'll see things you might get along better with the world around you. So try that, okay? Just try that. So I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.